Hi, and welcome back to Pittman's Pumpkin Patch, Pittman's Garden Patch. It's January 5th, 2015, and I'm coming to you from inside of my garage where I have my indoor garden. And I just want to show you what's growing on here, and sorry for all the crinkling and everything. And that's the mylar blanket that's helping to keep this place nice and toasty in here. It's approximately 75 degrees inside here. And I'm using my grow light is a VHO grow light. It's a very high output grow light. It produces a lot of heat and a lot of light. And each bulb is 95 watts. Okay, so it produces, and it's 6,500 Kelvin. So it produces a lot of light and a lot of heat. And so you got to be careful where you put your plants at what distance from the light, because otherwise you could cook your plants. This is probably about 4 feet or so, 5 feet away from the light bulbs, and it's still 75 degrees. And of course the garage temperature outside of this grow room is fairly chilly. But what I got growing on in here are a lot of summertime vegetables. This is one of my experiments. And right here on the right is my Egyptian spinach plant. Okay, and I experimented with it by pruning the tip off, trying to force lateral shoots to grow and everything. And it's worked a little bit, but not as much as I would have liked. The bottom seems to be coming out a little bit better. The closer to the top doesn't seem to be doing quite as well as I would have thought it would. But like I said, it's an experiment, so maybe I won't tip it off, cut off the tip in the future. Sorry for any of the rattling that you hear in the background. It's, like I said, the mylar blanket. As you can see, I got a couple tomato plants here, and I do have tomatoes growing. So here is a tomato right here, and I have another tomato right here. Okay, and there's a smaller one on that plant back there. So I just want to show you that. Right here I have some peppermint, and that's doing well. And again, I have some more tomatoes over there, tomato plants, and I do have tomatoes growing on them. I don't know if you can, I think a couple of them you can see in there, but I'm not going to move too much in there because I don't want to do all that rattling with them, with the mylar blanket. I do have, oh, right there, right behind the thermometer, or the thermostat, I should say, thermometer, is my Thai basil. There's actually 3 plants there in that pot, so they seem to be doing okay, not as good as I would have thought. Maybe if I thinned it out a little bit more, but I'll just let it do what it's going to do. And I just prune off the flowers when I see them to try to keep more vegetative growth. All the way in the back there, you can see the remains of a yellow flower blossom. That is a zucchini plant. It did produce one zucchini female flower about a couple weeks ago, but I don't think that one took. I sprayed it, or hit it with a tomato blossom set spray, and but I didn't think that it took. So that's okay. There's more time to do it. All the way back over in the corner, there's in that pot, way in the back there, you can see a little bit of the bright green shining through. That's leftovers of a spearmint plant that I had. So I just kind of wanted to show you what's going on here. You see I have an irrigation system that I also set up in here. And let me show you that coming out here. Comes right out here. Here's my fertigation system that you see here. It's a gallon size unit that can handle both constant pressure and on-off pressure situations, and it has all the liquid fertilizer and stuff in there, and it whenever the water comes on, it gives it a small dose of organic liquid fertilizer that I have put in there. Also, you can put in other things like your trace minerals. So I have liquid trace minerals and C90 trace minerals that I put in there. So it gets everything that it needs. And let me show you the kind of what I got hooked up. I have a little ball valve right down there that I could use to help control things if need be. and then it runs back in here, and there's part of the fertigation unit right there. And there's my water filter. Okay, further back there's my little timer, and then there's the garden hose, and that leads all the way back behind the washer, where I have a splitter back there, one for the machine and of course one going out to here. So showing you a little bit of an outside view of what my grow room looks like. And there you can see the grow light in there. And now one of the bulbs is out. It's kind of interesting how that happened. About maybe 2 weeks ago or whatever, I came out in the morning time and noticed that one of the bulbs had burned out. So I went online and ordered a single bulb and everything. And about 3 days after I had ordered that bulb, I came out that day and found that a second bulb had burned out. Oh, I go, great. You know, so so I haven't ordered another one yet, but I've replaced the one. And so, like I said, this is through the Mylar film, so that it really does a good job. And I can see I got it all hooked up there to a PVC frame, everything, and I got that attached, holding that frame in there with a bungee cord, because I noticed that the frame was a little unstable, and it you know, so I hooked that system up there to help keep it really a lot more stable. And so it really does a good thing. This is also where I start all my seeds at in the fall. I mean, excuse me, in wintertime, but getting it ready for spring and summer. And I usually have little 2x4 pieces that I cut off, and I put the little brackets and I drill them into the wall and everything, and that way I can set my seed trays on them at just the right height and everything, and to get my seeds going in my plants. And I have a lot of success in here. And I want to thank M.I. Gardner for a little tip he gave in one of his videos that really has made all the difference in the world. So thank you very much, Luke. And I just so you know, I have a son who's 3 years old. His name is Luke too. He's a cool little kid. But anyways, thanking M.I. Gardner for that, because what he did was, usually when you grow indoors, you'll end up sooner or later you'll have a problem with bugs called fungus gnats. Little tiny little critters that scurry around all over your soil and everything, and they lay their eggs inside of your moist soil, and then they'll start eating on the roots. The larvae will start eating your roots, and it'll kill your plants. So I knew and used the yellow sticky traps and everything, but what I was doing was I was hanging them on the wall back there, okay, and I noticed that they really wasn't doing the job. And then I watched one of his videos, and you can see some of that yellow sticky card right there on the soil. Well, M.I. Gardner had mentioned that this is where you put them, because most of the fungus gnats are going to be flying just underneath the canopy of all the foliage. So if you put it underneath, they'll see it there, and then they'll go down to it. And sure enough, I mean, it worked like a champ. And you know, you leave it out for a couple weeks after you notice most of the bugs already on them. You still leave it out, because you could have larvae hiding in the soil and moving around in there, and you want to get them too when they hatch out and start flying up, because you don't want to, you know, prematurely take away the yellow sticky cards and then you still have a fungus gnat problem. So you leave it out for a while, and I just leave it there, and I never even bother taking it out, just in case anything tries to in case those fungus gnats try to reestablish themselves. The yellow sticky cards are there to nab them before it becomes a problem. So thank you very much, Luke. I appreciate you know, your advice on that one. It's made all the difference in the world. And I know in a few more weeks, when I start growing my seeds for spring and summer, that I won't have an issue like I did last year with losing a lot of my Egyptian spinach and losing my watermelon plants in particular. Fungus gnats really went after my watermelon plants. So, all right. So this is Patrick from Pittman's Pumpkin Patch, Pittman's Garden Patch. Thank you for tuning in, and please subscribe. And if you have any comments or questions, just let me know. Thanks.